Hi, guys. I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery, and I'm located in Van.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Highland Heights, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk. Hello.
Hi, we're live.
Did you have a problem with your glasses like right
I
when we
just,
started?
I just, there's hair on it. I
How
hate,
bad are your eyes?
they're not that bad. It's like negative 0.75 or -1. That's
Huh.
my prescription.
I don't know what my prescription is.
So it's for distance. Like if I'm driving, can't read street signs, a little blurry on the interstate signs.
Mine's for driving too. I have distance. Well, I think I have uh close up and far away actually.
Hmm.
Such is
Yeah,
life.
no close-up issues with the reading.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, how are you? How is Bobby?
Bobby is good. So we've been slowly introducing him. I had to think about when we got him because the we had to take him in because he got a little scratch on his eye a couple of days ago, and his eye was puffy when he woke up on Monday, and we took him in. So we've had him for a little almost 2 weeks. So pretty quick. He's still in his own room, so we can't have all the girls interact with him, and
Hmm.
they can't live in kumbaya together just yet. So
Listen,
we're working
Lloyd's
our
not
way.
Lloyd's almost Lloyd's almost to I'm tolerating you stage with Dottie. Almost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like he's not fighting her.
Well, today I gave him that powder. I was just telling them about this powder that's supposed to be like a probiotic for calming, and he like ate it. And he like saw Dottie. He walked up to her, sniffed her, and then whacked her in the face. But he didn't hiss. And that that and when he whacks her in the face, he doesn't have claws out. No claws out. It's just a little
Uh-huh.
bop.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I need to look up more about hissing because I want to know what it's signifying with the different
I'll look it up right
cats.
now.
I was gonna ask Chat GPT.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, we're getting them acquainted. We're slowly introducing the girls together. We were kind of doing, hey, you could be in the room together, but they kept their distance and they weren't passing through the door frame. So a couple days ago, we went into the bathroom upstairs and like we're sitting on the floor with both of them, and they were interacting a little bit. And then we did it with
Yeah.
treats, and that helped. So they're kind of like, hey, I'm willing to sit next to you and eat treats and not hiss at you or jump at you. So feels like it's
Yeah,
getting
as
better.
most of the time, hissing is a sign that a cat is feeling anxious, frightened, or agitated. However, there are some reasons why a cat will hiss as well. For example, a mother cat may hiss if she feels her kittens are threatened. Similarly, a cat will also hiss if they're in pain. So,
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. I just remember
and
my great grandma had a cat as I was growing up, and this cat, it must have been so, I don't know. It just would walk in the room, and if you even started like edging your way toward him or anything, it would just hiss. Or if it
yeah,
was at
that's
like the bottom of the stairs and we're at the top of the stairs, it'll hiss when it sees you.
yeah, that's because he was probably fucking in pain all the time somehow. And so it says warning shots. There's like a warning. And then they're in pain, unfamiliarity, stressed out, rough play, you're bugging them.
You're bugging me.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is that.
Yeah. But yeah, they're slowly working their way. I actually thought Autumn would be more helpful and like willing to be nice, but she seems to be more of a bully. And
She's the
Marble's a little
feisty
bit
one,
more standoff. Marble will like
which
sit
is,
at a distance and watch you, and then if you come toward her, she'll just hiss a little bit, and then that's it.
yeah, which is hilarious because Marble, for anybody that knows that Lloyd goes to their house in Marble will literally lunge through the window to get to Lloyd. And
Hmm.
Lloyd is like, whatever, homegirl. I'm just walking. Like, I think that he understands that the window's there, so he's like, fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
but he's also used to her, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lot bigger getting close to her. The Bobby's
That's
still
true.
really small, so I wonder if it's a size thing.
Yeah. That is true. When kittens see people like other cats, it is definitely a different like size for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anything
So that
else?
that's going well. I did the holiday bazaar this past weekend. That was pretty good. I was
Mm-hmm.
keeping track for the most part. So this was a central checkout. I don't know how many people do those kind of shows, but generally they're not keeping super granular information about your sales. So I was keeping track throughout the day. Normally I do that and I just jot it down after people pick things up. And I was pretty much at the booth the entire day. So I could keep track pretty well. And I was just logging all of my sales in Square as cash just so I could keep
Mm-hmm.
track of the data. So I think I ended about 2,300.
Damn.
And they take 20%.
It's probably about 18.
So after they take a cut of 1840.
Mm-hmm. How did I know that so quickly? Because Leavenworth always took 20%. You can
Oh,
do
and you're
that. I didn't
familiar.
even,
They show you the big number
yeah,
too.
I
They
didn't
didn't sh
even do, I didn't even do the math in my head. I was just like, oh yeah, it sounds like 18.
Yep.
That was a total shot in the dark.
Well, I mean it's not that far-fetched with the yeah, I don't know. Nice
Yeah,
round
it
numbers.
seems, yeah, for sure.
But I was happy with the sales.
Good.
I think I'm probably because it's mostly students there, I would suspect I'm probably one of the top three sellers there
Yeah.
at that show consistently. Um, just because I
And
have
you've done
probably
it
the
for a
most.
long time.
Yeah, actually, I was telling a customer this. My third show I ever did was the Holiday Bazaar in 2016.
Yeah.
So I've pretty much done it every year since then.
Yeah, that's not 8 years. Like that's a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to remember all those people at home that are like, why the fuck can't I get $2,200 at a holiday bazaar show? You have to remember that Ryan's got consistency on his side. He is also a unicorn. We don't know why, but he is.
Probably have a little bit of ideas why some of that.
Oh yeah, consistency. And
Hmm.
yeah, and you like track down what people want. You're like, oh yeah, this sold the best. I'm gonna make
Hmm.
more of that shit. Yeah,
Yep, exactly.
exactly. Anything else?
I don't think so. I mean, Thanksgiving's coming up, so got some time off work, going to Louisville. Got our last
Huzzah!
big show of the year at the West Side Market. That one's
Oh
usually pretty good
yeah.
as well. They get a good crowd with their swag bags.
Swag bags.
200 swag bags. I'm sure some people are turned off from shows like that ask you for free things for their giveaways or whatever. Like this show
Mm-hmm.
it expects you like you have to give them 20 items for a
Right.
swag bag. I mean, people have a number of things, so I would suspect some people that don't really have anything in that dollar figure, they either buy something random and do it and put it in there, or they put in like coupons or something,
Yeah.
some kind of incentive. But uh, it's been worth it. They have 200 of the bags, so they have a line of people waiting like 30 minutes before it even starts,
Yep.
and they're just chilling out there, and it gets a
Chilling
lot of
like a
folks.
villain.
I mean, it gets a great crowd there right at the beginning, which is good, and it's pretty consistent throughout the day. I mean, maybe it dies off the last hour like any show, but It's
Yeah.
one day, so yeah, I think that's it. Anything else that a lot of Etsy
No,
orders? It's ramping up.
good.
Shot glasses flying.
Shot glasses. Um, I have a funny story to tell you.
Let's hear it.
Okay. It's not like super funny, but it's mildly funny. So today I decided to go to Chick-fil-A for lunch, which is not something I've done in a while. Um, just because like there's other meals that I'd rather have for $10 than Chick-fil-A. But it was there. So I like went in because I had a little bit of time before Dottie's vet appointment, which we'll talk about in a minute. And I like ordered my thing, and of course I ordered a little ice cream cone because I am who I am. And um he like hands me the ice cream cone. He's like, I didn't know if you wanted this now or later. And I was like, nah, now it's fine. So I ate the ice cream cone first and then proceeded to eat the meal. Well, most of the ice cream cone. And then I'm just like eating my meal and I was like almost done. And this kid, the same kid, walks up and he's like, do you want this frozen lemonade? And he just looks at me and he's got this whole ass frozen lemonade. And I looked at him and I was like, fuck yeah, I do. And
In the middle of
yeah,
Chick-fil-A,
yeah.
were
I
there other people in there?
did. Yeah. Yeah. He starts like giggling. And I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, afterwards, I'm like, I have a very special place in hell. Like to like bring the profanity into the good of the Chick-fil-A. Um, but it was like no filter. Like he caught me so off guard. I was like, hell you fucking yeah, I want a fucking lemonade.
He should have said under
Also,
his breath, like, my fucking
my
pleasure. Or like,
fucking pleasure. That sounds not okay. That sounds like harassment.
or he could say 3 Hail Marys. And that's it.
3 Hail Marys. Um, but yeah, so he got a chuckle out of that, and I thought it was funny. And the lady that was like eating across the way, you could tell that she was like disturbed by it, but she didn't want to look at me. Um, so anyway, if you've never had their frozen lemonade, can confirm, delicious. Delicious.
Mm.
It's got like a little bit of milk in it somehow. I don't know what it is,
I love their
but
regular, I mean, their regular lemonade's brewed
yeah,
fresh,
it's really
just like
good.
the
It's really good.
tea and stuff.
Um, but the frozen one, I think it's like a seasonal thing. Pretty good. So, yep.
Hmm. I wonder if they
Then,
do a frozen Arnold Palmer. Maybe that frozen lemonade with some iced tea on there. Okay,
dude,
I'm gonna ask for that.
that'd be so fucking good. Yeah, it'd be kind of have to be like a float.
Yeah, I
It'd
feel like
end
I'd
up
need to
being like a
add,
slush.
I feel like it needs to be half frozen lemonade, half sweet tea, or maybe a third frozen lemonade.
Yeah, I would say 2/3 frozen lemonade and 1/3 sweet tea so that
Ooh,
you can like,
I don't think there's enough tea in there to balance the tartness though.
it wasn't
I'm
tart.
generally, oh,
It
really?
wasn't tart. It was sweet because it had something else in there to like balance out the sweetness.
Mm,
It
okay.
wasn't like a margarita.
Generally I'm a 2/3 tea, 1/3
It
lemonade.
wasn't like a margarita. It was more like a sorbet.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
I
did
don't
you
know how to
drink it with a
explain it.
straw?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, the tartness of a margarita, it wasn't that. It was more like a sweetness of a sorbet.
Oh, okay.
So, um,
We'll just have
but
to
it
go
was,
there multiple times and experiment and figure out the
yeah.
right mixture.
Or just take like your own cups, like,
Do a little
and get
wine
one and just
blend
like,
of
yeah,
my
of
of
your
my
sweet tea
Arnold Palmer.
lemonade. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, for those of you who may be following, I have a new cat. Her name is Dottie. And
I can't believe you were even questioning that it was a girl or not. I'm like, how the fuck do you not know that?
no, I was pretty positive it was a girl.
Okay.
I just know people that have been like, yeah, it's a girl, and then gone into a vet and found out it was a boy. So,
Maybe long
um,
haired.
yeah, like you
I
never
get it.
know.
I get it with a long haired, but
Yeah. I mean, anyway, so I took her into a vet and like for those of you who don't know, she was skin and bones when I got her. And I have a feeling I know why now, but she 6.1 pounds. That's
Yeah,
her
that's pretty
weight
good.
now. That's so
That's still
tiny.
light.
That's so tiny. Like Lloyd is 13 pounds, and that's
He's
like,
also bigger
yeah,
anyways. He's a longer cat,
yeah.
so
How big is Autumn in like Marbs?
I I think they're maybe around 10.
Yeah. Well, Autumn's getting chubby, and God bless her.
But
I love her.
Autumn's always been smaller, so I would guess
Yeah.
she's still probably the same weight or a little bit less than Marvel.
Yeah. So, but still, 6 pounds for a cat, a full-grown cat, is pretty light.
Yeah, I mean,
I,
Bobby is like 3.2 or something.
yeah. So, I, I thought she was going to be younger. I thought she was going to be like 1 to 2 years old. Turns out she's a senior cat. She's like 7 to 10 years old. So they don't know exactly how old she is, but by her teeth and by something in her eyes, there's like a film that happens over their eyes when they get to a certain age, apparently.
Mm.
And so that's how she kind of determined that, which I think is so cute. And
Do they not,
sh
I'm guessing she didn't have a chip, right?
no chip. Yeah, and I checked for the chip the first day that I got her because
Well, yeah, you didn't want to take her before you knew if there was a chip or not.
no, no, I'm not that kind of person. Um, yeah, there's like a chip reader at the animal shelter. Good night. There's a chip reader at the animal shelter, and so they have it like locked onto a box, and you can like check for chips, which I thought was really cool at like any time. And so anyway, we got all these tests, and oh God, it was so expensive. How do you like you it's like you can't just like sit in there in the fucking like the vet and be like, sorry, we're not gonna have these tests on this living being that is like under my care.
I mean,
Like,
you can. I'm sure
yeah, if
they
you're
line item that shit and you just say,
yeah, if
how
you're a
risky is
fucking
this? How
garbage
risky is this?
human, yeah. Like, and so anyway, um, it like $700 later, um, she got I found out that she is having kidney failure. Uh, and I wish they would have given me a sheet on how to deal with it, but they gave me food, like 24 things of food, and then
Oh, they didn't give
this
you a sheet like this is what we found, this is what we recommend, and all that.
no, they didn't give me a recommendation type sheet, but they gave me like medicine for her that can go on top of her food, and then this special type of food for her to eat. And I'll tell you what, this cat is the easiest cat to give medicine to because she is so obsessed with food that she'll just plow right through it. She doesn't care.
Hmm.
She didn't give a shit. You're like, what? That's powder? Don't give a fuck. Like,
It's
and
like
so,
I could either eat around it or not eat it,
or just eat
or just eat
it.
it and deal with it.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, but you can already tell she's feeling a little bit better. They filled her up with water too. They like put a needle under her skin and like pumped water into her so she can absorb it better. She's not absorbing water. That's why she's been peeing so much. So, that's her kidneys not working. And but she's not throwing up and she's not eating. She's like definitely eating. So I think it'll be okay. I don't know. I don't know how long she'll live, but I'm working
Lloyd's
on
not even that
getting.
old, is he?
No, he's 5. I'm working on getting. I can't imagine like somebody had to have dumped her. Somebody probably found out she was having kidney problems or something and fucking dumped her because there's no fucking way. This cat is so
But if
sweet.
it, but if you take it to a vet and you don't have microchip, don't they try to get you to microchip it? Like you think somebody
No,
had her that long and
no, Lloyd doesn't have a microchip.
oh really? Why
No,
not?
cats choose their own people. If he wants to leave, he'll fucking leave. I'm not.
Well, he's an outdoor cat too, I guess that makes a little bit of
Eh,
a difference, but
Also, I don't need anybody coming after me and being like, "Is this your cat? Why did you fucking dump him?" Like, I'm not doing that to him, but no, fuck that. Lloyd never even went to a vet before the age of 5, like 4 or 5. Like,
really?
Yeah, like the only like he got neutered in a clinic that was like $25 and they like took him away and came back. And then he went to a vet to the first time he ever went to a vet was um I don't know, he got in a fight somewhere. Oh yeah, we went to a vet clinic because he got in a fight and he hurt his leg. And so they just gave him the stuff to fix his leg and that was it. And then that was
Oh,
like 2 years ago. So, yeah, I'm not a vet person. I'm not a vet person. Apparently now I am, but
well, yeah.
now I'm
I mean, what
contributing
made
to
you
their
even
like,
want to take her to the vet?
she is so lethargic and like she's just dumb as fucking box of rocks. And I'm like, this cat cannot be this dumb.
Maybe she can't hear.
You know what? That is a fair assessment. I don't know. Um, I thought she maybe couldn't see. So, I don't
I
know.
mean, how do you know if a cat can't hear or not? I would
I
just,
don't know.
yeah,
I
you think you
don't know.
call them at the middle of the night and you think that she's just being stubborn and just not wanting to come to you.
You know, I never considered her not being able to hear. I did consider her not being able to see. But like I will say for sure, for sure, for sure, if she sees you and you call to her, she'll come to you. But if she doesn't see you and you call to her, she's not coming. So maybe she is deaf. Maybe she's like, yeah. Um,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Something to think
But
about.
regardless, she's so cute. The vet was like the tech was like just in love with her. And she like didn't fuss at all, you know. She's not like Lloyd, she didn't hit the ceiling.
That's good.
Um yeah. So, yeah, it's good. I'm trying to figure out how to get pet insurance. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I think we might have the option at our company to buy it, but it's not, it's definitely an add-on or
I know
maybe
you can
you
get
just
it.
have to buy it private. Like, I have no idea.
I know you can get it through Costco. I know it won't cover Lloyd because he has kitty aids, but it could
Where
cover
can
like
I get
emergencies.
pet insurance?
No, you can get it through Costco. It's a really good one. I recently talked to a vet about it.
Hmm.
Cheryl's daughter is a vet, so that's been helpful.
Nationwide.
Um, don't do
A-
that one.
ASPCA pet health insurance.
Don't do Nationwide. They've been dropping people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that's my life right now. I'm still at Cheryl's house. We make caramel corn. That's the other thing.
Oh, sweet. That's
Yeah,
fun. I've never made
delicious.
that. I've never seen anybody make that.
Well, we can make it when it comes sometime.
Fucking love caramel corn.
Hell yeah.
Caramel
And
corn
we were
and
gonna make
the cheese. I want the cheese and the caramel. The
I
Chicago
want we
mix
should
or
figure out how to make the cheese. I would imagine it's just like freeze-dried cheese, right?
I don't know.
Um,
Rachel has been using that Amish cheese stuff for the popcorn. She doesn't like it. She's
I'm
not a
not the
fan.
biggest fan. Anyway, yeah, we were gonna make caramel popcorn balls and then just decided to put it in a tray so it's like caramel clusters. Easier to eat.
Yeah, I feel like who wants to eat a ball?
Nobody.
Yeah, how do you even no.
Literally nobody. So, yep. Yeppity yep yeppers. It's gonna be fucking cold as shit in Memphis next week, and I'm not excited about it. So
Mm, yeah, I was looking at it as going up and then going down for this show. I was like, oh, damn. Last outdoor show though.
damn. Also Cheryl gave me her comforter and it's smaller than the comforter you had, so I think it's a little less warm, but I still woke up sweating.
Oh yeah. It's probably
Yeah.
for a twin or a full. Is
Yeah,
that
it's
what you
small.
mean?
It's like
Like for an actual like
no,
size of the bed?
it's less fluffy. It's a little less fluffy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ours was the fancier duvet that you get from IKEA.
Yeah,
I don't
this
know.
one isn't one that you would put a duvet on because it's already red. And that's why she gave it to me. She was like, I can't put a duvet cover on it because it's red. So
Hmm.
I'm
Hopefully that'll
pretty
work pretty
stoked
well.
about that. I was gonna buy one anyway, so I'm pretty stoked about that. She's helped me a lot. She's a super giver, so I gotta be like Cheryl. No,
Nice.
I
It
don't
sounds like
need
it's coming
that.
back around to you because you're the same way.
I am. I am the same way. But oh, I have one more thing.
What's that?
Okay. Cheryl has an outdoor shower at her house and it's got hot water. And that's what I've been showering in the last couple times. And it's the best thing in the whole fucking world.
But
I
you're
don't,
outside. Isn't it cold there?
no, it's not that cold. It was like 60 degrees today. It is so great. It's like warm, warm water. It'd be like in a hot tub when it's cold outside. And it's like so
Uh-huh.
nice. I can't wait to make an outdoor shower. Ugh.
Is there still a pan or something?
No, it's cement, and then it goes into rocks. I mean, it's all enclosed, obviously.
Okay.
But
But it's just a cement bottom. I was thinking the
hmm
mud or something, but I'm like, no, it would have a drain or something.
yeah. And it's like real nice water pressure and real hot. It's great. Their hoses even have hot water.
Why?
Ryan, they have an ice machine under their counter.
There's something about people having ice machines, and that's nice.
I looked at him when he was like, "We have an ice machine." Cheryl's husband, he says, "We have an ice machine. It's right there." And I go, "You have a rich person ice machine?" He was like, Uh, no, yes. He's like, it's a KitchenAid. Yeah,
That's pretty
it's
nice.
great. It's pretty lovely.
Is it the
Okay.
crunchy, the little
No,
Sonic
it's
eyes?
not it's not the Sonic Ice, but it's small cubes. And
Okay, so it's like the mid-size model.
yeah, it's like unlimited ice. It's unlimited ice. It's
Mm,
great.
nice.
Something
Outdoor
about ice,
showers
man.
and fancy ice machines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh?
Okay. Shall we do our first question? I can read it. I'll read the
Yeah,
questions today.
yeah.
Okay, it says this is from Jello Designs, even though I think we know that it is JLo, but I like to call her Jello, Janet.
Hmm.
She says, I have a show in December and I'm thinking of backing out because they want me to donate 50% of my proceeds to charity. The show is for the social action committee of the local church. That seems like a pretty steep request from an artist who doesn't really make that much to begin with. What are your thoughts on this? I'll
Uh,
tell you what my fucking
you
thoughts on
saw it
this
and you were
are.
like, "What the fuck?"
I was like, 50 fucking percent? No. Listen, Jesus
I
only
would,
asked for 10.
I would,
Okay?
I would hope that that was like a misunderstanding that they wanted $50 of my
Yeah.
proceeds to a charity because that sounds more reasonable. Yeah, I would not be cool with a show wanting 50% of sales.
Especially when you have no, like, you don't know the charity.
You're a
Like, what
guest
if,
there. Yeah, you're just
yeah.
coming in like I get it. The event could be benefiting a certain thing that your committee created that's hosting the event, and it's like, okay, all proceeds are going to benefit this, but to expect 50% of the artist sales, that's crazy.
Mm-mm. If I did that show and, like, I continued with that show, I'll tell you what, I made $100 and that's fucking it. It doesn't matter how much I made, but I made $100. Like, no fucking way. Am I giving you 50% of the money that I've earned? Your fucking profit's not even 50%, probably. Like, what?
Is there a percentage you would be cool with?
No. 20. If they didn't, 20, if they didn't,
No, 20.
if they didn't, if they, oh, it depends on who the fucking charity is. That's my problem. Because, like, what if there's a charity that, like, what if it's a fucking charity that doesn't, like, support gay rights or some shit like that? Is like a church charity that's, like,
Hmm.
not going to accept everybody. And I'm not saying that all churches do that. I think that there's some great churches, but, like, like, if you believe something and you do a church show that's just like an art show, they're not asking you what your belief system is doing that show, right? And
Right.
like, but to make you donate a certain amount of proceeds to a charity that you may or may not agree with
Support. Yeah.
is like, I'm not going to support them. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to
Yeah. How
support
would they even?
I'm not going to support the Killing Babies charity. Like, and
Yeah.
I mean alive babies. Like that was a bad example. I'm not like I don't
Unless they
know.
were like, I'm trying to think like, is there a reasonable way that they would do that and have you like donate to 50% of your proceeds to a charity of your choice? Like, why? What that it
Yeah,
just
that
makes no
sounds more
sense.
reasonable, but
But it makes
still,
no
even
sense. Why do
still,
they want to? Why do they want you to show them proof that you donated 50% to some charity?
yeah,
It's like
like
if you
it's
want to do the show and you want to sell things from volunteers of the church that are selling their things and those proceeds are going to the charity, that makes more
right.
sense.
Like if somebody donate, if you did a church show, I've done church shows that people are like, "Hey, would you like to you want to donate an item?" And these gift baskets that we put your item in goes towards like the local charity,
Or
whatever.
the local
Totally
school.
fine
I
with
do a
that.
show that does
Totally
that.
fucking fine with that. I'm fine with that. But to tell me that I have to donate because and let's assume that you have to pay to get into this show. Like,
Yeah.
let's assume that you have to pay $50 at least to get into this show.
I would,
And then,
I don't know. I would guess if it's a church, they're probably saying we're not going to charge you a booth fee. So that's the hook to get you in when you're like, it's not costing me anything. And then
Jello, run away!
and
Run
then
away!
I don't know if they tell you that seems like that would be in the application for sure because that would be a decision maker whether yeah, I don't
And I mean, like,
what if
what
it's a
if
request? What if it says we request 50%? It's like I think that's what I
bullshit?
replied back to Janet with. I think I said I would totally run away from that if it was just a suggestion or a request to donate 50% to of your proceeds to charity. I would be willing to maybe donate $50. Like if I didn't pay for the booth, I'd be willing to donate a reasonable amount of money that I would pay at a normal show's booth fee of that
Yeah.
type. Like I think that's what I was my compromise. But yeah, I don't know. Not realistic at all. Yeah, you wouldn't get that many people to sell there if you did that. Or most people that do it are hobbyists, so you're like given 50% of quote unquote extra money.
Yeah. Oof. Why am I not following Jello?
I don't know. Are you messaging her?
Yes, I'm messaging her right now. Janet, I'm so sorry I'm not following you. Ah! Anyway, continue. What do you think? I mean, like, do you think any is like I don't know. I'm
I
pretty
think they need to ask for something for the booth table. Like that's reasonable. Um, so I would suspect a $25, $50. Um, the thing is, if I'm going to give somebody a percentage like that, they need to be doing something for me. They can't just say, "Oh, well, we're marketing the event. That's what we're doing." No, that's not the way. That's what you charge a booth fee for. You don't charge a percentage of my sales unless you're doing something additional. Like Queen City Clay taking the 20%. Like they have a central point of sale. All we have to
right.
do is price things and label them appropriately, and they take care of point of sale, paying the sales tax, doing all the back and forth with customers, dealing with bags and packing stuff, materials, and that's what their 20% is. So, you know, it's not that bad. And we pay a $25 table fee. So I feel like something like that would be reasonable, but they've got to be doing
Yeah.
something for you. I
Yeah.
think Pottery Tour was kind of like I think it was our membership, and then I think there was a percentage based on covering credit card fees and um like a host fee because they had food and things like that that they were providing. So yeah, places do it differently, but I would definitely stay away. The only other experience I've had with with a place expecting a donation like that, there's a show that I did. It was a silent auction, kind of like what you're talking about,
Hmm.
and they asked for a donation item and for you to specify on your application what percentage of the sale are you willing to donate to our school. It's like a local school or whatever.
100%, right? You just donate the item and
Well,
then you say 100%.
it gives you a percentage, so it says 25, 50, 100% or something like that.
You
So you
chose
get to
100%, right?
well, no, the thing is I chose 50% the first year and then never got anything. And then I did 50% the second year, never got anything. And then I just stopped donating because I'm like, don't offer the options there if you don't actually follow up with people. Don't like
Maybe
say
you
you're
shouldn't
gonna donate 50% of the sale
maybe
and
you shouldn't
then
be so greedy, Ryan. It's for the children. It's
it was my first year selling. That was the second of my third show ever selling. And I think I that was like 2016.
That's
I don't think I
so
was being
funny.
greedy in 2016.
And did the piece even sell? I feel like one of my pieces wouldn't have even
It
sold.
did. It did because I think I went back over and checked it to see what the price was. So it did.
How much? Do you remember how much you sold it for?
I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was a serving bowl, and I think I was charging $50 or something like that. Or I
Mm,
think it might have went for $50. It might have went
nice.
like 30 for something
It
like
was
that.
like a silent auction thing.
Yeah. So I'm like, why even don't ask the question if you're not gonna like deal
That's
with
so funny.
what you're promising.
They probably were like 50%. What? Everybody's
Why?
supposed to choose 100.
Well, yeah,
Like,
don't even put the option on there then.
uh, anyway. Okay.
Generally, a lot of those shows at churches and things, I'm like, it's not really gonna be worth it for me. But
Some of my best shows have been at churches, but that's because I knew the people at the church.
that's
So,
true.
it depends. Let's talk about let's talk about I kid. I kid. Let's talk about kilns.
Mm-hmm. Plug and fire. I just used it a couple days ago on decal firing.
You did? How did it
Quick
go?
decal. It was good. It was nice and quick. I think it was that's the coolest firing I do, and it's fairly fast. I think it was about 5 hours. So I ran it at night,
Were
and it
you
was ready to unload by early morning,
were you wishing that you
mid
had
morning.
a rolly stand and a
I actually did wish that I do kind of wish that I have a wall mount. I think that would be pretty nice.
yeah, the wall mount would
It
be
just
nice in your position.
yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking about it. Would the stand benefit me? Okay, if I had the stand, I would probably need the casters to put it somewhere reasonable because I'm like, am I gaining space? And then you got to keep it close enough to an outlet. So maybe it's a little flexible to move around, but
Yeah, you could roll it into your like extra storage area, like where the cat shit, and then
hmm
in
just have
that
it close
area.
enough to an outlet and far enough away
Well,
from a wall.
well, you don't even need it close to an outlet because then you could just roll it to wherever outlet you want, you know? You
Well, yeah,
could,
that's what I'm saying. As long as
yeah.
it's within
Those, I
our
keep
outlets are
thinking
like up
about,
near the ceiling or like halfway up a
yeah.
wall instead of being down by the baseboard.
You know what I did recently? Because like I have been putting the whole kiln in the van with it stand upside down and then bottom in stand and then uh bottom in stand and then putting the top on and it like the stand holds everything in as you're moving. But this last time I was like, I I just it's so much easier just to put the casters on. So I it's like, what if I put the caster on and casters on the bottom of the stand and put the kiln on the stand and put it in the middle of where everything is so that when I'm driving it can't move around. and then and I locked the casters, and so now I can just
Oh.
whenever I go to the next workshop, I'm gonna unlock the casters and I can just roll it out and then just kind of like move it down.
Hmm.
So
How
we'll see if
is
that
it?
works.
It's pretty heavy though, right? With all that.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. We'll see how it works. I would love to, for my situation specifically, I would love to get a latch on this on each side so I could latch the bottom base to the top and then I just unlatch it when I'm firing. Just latch it when I'm moving
Mm,
around so it can't move.
yeah. As long as it's not like
Yeah.
rub, I could maybe rub on the brick, the soft brick or something, maybe. But
Yeah, something like that. I told I told Dimitri, I was like, you got a product tester in me because I'm gonna fucking work this piece to the ground.
yeah,
This
I
kiln
mean, you
is
can't really scale the amount of vibrating being in a vehicle for thousands of miles.
no, it's got a lot. So
Yeah, you'll probably need to get elements at some point, right?
yeah, I
Yeah, I'm
will.
curious how that process is going to be to replace them, but I mean,
Yeah, it'll be
those two
interesting.
elements is pretty straightforward, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting, but I think it'll be good. I mean, like, it'll be easy to do it, obviously. But it will. The way that the elements are actually in the back is that they have like it in this protective case box thing, and it is, let's just say, it is protected. So I've taken it apart once, and it was not the easiest take apart, but it is sturdy, sturdy, sturdy. So, thankfully, like you can see in there to see like what you need to like move and move out. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I mean, there's
but
not that
yeah,
much in there because there's another
no,
controller port that
no.
goes to the actual controller box. So,
Yeah, no, it's just the elements and the thermocouple. So, but yeah, I'm actually kind of excited for the first element change to see how it goes and see. I can tell that the kiln is working a little slower than it normally did when I first got it. So, I mean, that makes sense. I've fired it 60 times. So,
yeah.
it
I'm sure
should.
they'll have videos on there too. I'm sure when
Yeah.
we get to that point in their website, they got pretty good how-tos and
Exactly. Yeah. I
good
think
glossary.
eventually if I stay sturdy, stay still, stay stationary for a while, I would love to get the tall stand. Um, it's so nice and it's so sturdy and it moves really easily, you know? So,
Yeah, it looks pretty heavy duty.
yeah. So what are the new accessories?
Accessories. You just mentioned the tall stand, so that's a nice
Tall stand.
big metal stand. And then you can also attach casters to it.
Mm-hmm.
You can attach those casters to the existing like
Stand as well.
short
Yep.
stand. Or I'm pretty sure you could just buy a stand that has casters on it if you don't want
Right, right, right.
to adapt it.
And and then you can buy a wall mount for the controller.
Yep.
Those are all the new things. And they all ship flat pack, so it's not like super expensive shipping. Not the kilns, obviously, but the the stand and
Yeah,
the
the kilns come in a couple boxes, but they're
yeah.
nicely packed so they don't break or anything.
But the stand ships flat pack, so you assemble it, but it's really, really sturdy. I felt it in the warehouse. It was very sturdy. I thought it would be a little flimsy. Not at all. 100% no. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. And yeah, you can go look that stuff up at hotcakes.com.
You got it.
I felt a little bit like um Peter from Family Guy in that one.
With the singing part?
Yeah, sounded a little bit like him. Uh yep,
All right, do we want to talk about our next question?
I do.
Mm, go
Okay,
for it.
I'll read it. Hey Beck and Ren, I love the podcast and have learned so much from you guys and your guests. Question. While I have two clay suppliers nearby, I haven't found a local clay that I am absolutely in love with, or that fits my glazes without sounding like wind chimes when opening the kiln. After hearing your interviews with Link, from Kentucky Moworks. I decided to give some of their clays a try, and of course, I fell in love with them. Hard not to do. Those pieces happen to be the pieces that are selling at local markets as well. My question is, do you learn to work with the clay, the local clay that you have available, or do you just suck it up and pay for the clay to be shipped in? Price reference, this is huge. Local clay is about $14 per 25-pound bag, and shipping the Kentucky Works is about $36 per 25 bag, plus the hatred of my mail delivery person.
That last part is
Lucy,
important.
that last part is important. Lucy S Ceramics. Lucy.s Ceramics is the Instagram. And I have a feeling I know I wish she would have said she would have name dropped a few of the clays that she has used. But
Yeah, I mean, I can
Lucy,
kind of look on her Instagram to see some of the colors.
yeah, Lucy, if you're listening to this, which I'm gonna try and respond to you tomorrow too, but if I haven't by then, shoot me a message on Instagram because let's talk about it. Because I think that you are in Washington, which would mean that you have Tacoma Clay Art Center and Seattle Pottery Supply, and in my unprofessional opinion, Seattle Pottery Supply clays are garbage. So, Tacoma Clay Art is the place to go just because their clays are better. And I totally understand getting a new clay and then realizing that the clays you've been using is actually garbage because I've done that multiple times. And
Yeah, when
Kentucky
you level up
Millworks,
and try something that's like really nice. Okay, this is
yeah,
one. It's kind of like a dark star looking.
I can look it up. Also,
Yeah.
and you're not wrong, Kentucky Millworks is superior and it always will be, but it is really hard to get in the area that you are. You are in exactly the wrong area.
But the thing
So,
is, I was talking with her about it. I agreed that finding something local is always going to be in your favor for cost. And, I mentioned aardvark. I don't know the other clays out there that are common, but I was definitely like, hey, even if you have to drive 2 or 2.5 hours each way to get clay, if you buy it in enough high enough batches, like 500 pounds or whatnot,
yeah,
that'll last you like 3 or 4 months, then it's worth that one-time trip of driving,
yeah,
4 to 5 hours round trip. Because otherwise, having clay shipped all the way from Kentucky to you and it's $36 every bag, that doesn't sound doable.
right. I can
That's
see
that's
one
not
of
even a
the,
full box. Like normally most people don't spend $36 for a box of clay.
yeah, one of the pieces that she has in her things is Sheltoe from Kentucky Millworks, and I could spot it from a mile away. It is phenomenal. Phenomenal. It's great. I love it. Um,
And it looks like a speckled stoneware sort of.
no, that's the red
Like a
one.
or like a groggy white.
Nope. Nope. All red. It's just red. It's the one where she's in like a blanket. It's a blanket.
No, I'm talking about a different clay that I'm looking at that she has on here.
Oh, what does
Oh,
the
I
picture
mean, I
look like?
see this one. That's totally red. Sheltui,
Yeah.
the blue. There's some little cups that have specks in the clay, and I can't tell if that's just the same clay I've got, like a speckled buff maybe.
Yeah. Where the fuck is that blue bowl? I'm not even seeing it. Anyway, moving on. Um, Here's the thing. Even though the places that you buy from, like she has two places near her, I'm assuming that are like actually make clay. Not only those clay places also bring in clay too. So like if you are looking for like a red stoneware that you'll like more, like you should look into B Mix, the red B Mix that they have. It's called Smooth Red, I think. It's phenomenal. Like, and that's a Laguna, I believe, or Aardvark. Regardless, it's from California. And those places on the West Coast should carry Aardvark or Laguna as well. So I would obviously, if you go into those, like if you go into Seattle Pottery, they're going to try and sell you C mix, because That's their version of B mix, and they make it and they get the money from that. But if you could get something like Smooth Red, which is like the red stoneware, or the actual B mix from Aardvark or from Laguna, and or like any of those, like if you're not feeling the local clay suppliers, typically somebody's going to be selling Laguna or like a bigger like area clay, you know. And in that area, that is you're going to be Laguna and Aardvark down in California. So I think it's completely not economical to buy Kentucky Millworks when you live in Washington. I
Yeah.
don't think it's intelligent. I know that it feels like it should. It feels like you're like, I
It's
really want this
totally
to
worth
work.
this money. Yeah.
It's not worth it. I mean, like, also, you in Washington don't even realize how cheap your clay is compared to out here. The clay in the middle of the country is so goddamn expensive comparatively to the clay makers in Washington. So keep that in mind. But if you are willing to spend just a smidge more, you could go to something like Laguna or Aardvark, and I would look into that. But also, I'll reach out to you. And if anybody else has that question too, you can definitely message me. I've been around, so I know some of the clays, not all of them, but
I was just trying to look up
obviously,
what I spent on clay last time for Mudworks, Kentucky Mudworks Iceman,
well,
thousand
you know, it's
pounds, 655, 655 divided by
1,000, which is 60 cents, 60,
65 cents a pound,
65 cents a pound, and then times 25.65 times 25,
16 to 25.
16.25,
Yeah, you're
which,
paying more than double for a single bag.
yeah. So, like, and did you get that straight from Kentucky Millworks or did you get it from
I got it from Queen City Clay,
Queen City?
which is
Queen City
actually
Clay,
it's actually cheaper because they give better
yep.
discounts.
Queen City Clay actually sells their clays cheaper than Kentucky Millworks themselves do. So does Brickyard. So, um,
Because they buy it by the pallet. I mean, they have to buy
right.
a certain
They have
amount.
a certain price and they can sell it at whatever price they want to at that point.
And they're probably
Um,
making more on the box at the standard price when you just buy one box.
yeah,
They're probably priced comparable to Kentucky Mudworks, and you're just going to go there
yeah,
for convenience.
right. And
Okay.
then there's places like Brickyard that won't sell you one bag that you have to buy a box, which is such fucking bullshit. Um,
That's why you just go buy a box and then you split it with a dude in the parking lot.
really, really,
Maybe.
maybe. Anyway, yeah, I would say, I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's worth $36 to pay for it. If anything, you just get, I think Aardvark. I mean, ask your community, ask the like Instagram, because there's probably people that you follow that are in that area that can give you recommendations specifically for your area. I mean, Becca used to live there, so I mean, like she said, there's only a couple spots, so you don't have much choice.
Yeah, but I would definitely go to Tacoma over Seattle any day of the week. Yes.
It looks like she does kind of make production, so it wouldn't be
Yeah.
something that it. I mean, it doesn't sound efficient at all to be getting 25 pounds at a time, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but you do have to think about your bottom line as opposed to um what feels good, you know? Yeah, it might feel great throwing and it might glaze great, but if it costs you double,
There, yeah, there's
is
probably
it
also a middle ground. Like you're talking about your local
yeah.
clay store is $14 a bag, but that's probably a bottom of the air, like
Hmm.
the totem pole here. Like you want if you get like an aardvark or a laguna,
Right, you're gonna be paying
it's
like 20.
tried and tested. Like a lot of people
Yeah.
are using it. So
I will
like
say I do want to give one warning out. If you are going to go with Aardvark, they have a clay called Terra Red, which is fucking beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. It will not vitrify at cone 5. So the absorption rate is 6%. So keep that in mind if you do that.
damn.
make sure you're testing or at least even looking at the tech sheet, to see how much it actually shrinks because they've done the tests on how much they absorb anyway, so that gives you at least a guideline. But just don't just like assume.
Don't
I
just
have
be
done
like,
that.
this is the only red clay that they have, so
Right.
I gotta go
Smooth
with
red.
this.
Smooth red is just as good and it will vitrify at a much better rate. So keep that in mind. It's
Okay.
a little expensive, a little more expensive, but yeah. Also, don't use obsidian. I know it's like
Is that the black clay?
really tempting. Yes, black clay. Don't use it.
But it looks red, right? When you work with it.
Yeah, it's red when you work with it, but don't use it. It's like a toxic relationship. It's like it's like obsidian is like good in bed, but everywhere else it sucks. That's how it is. That's that's the only way I can describe it. It does not clean the dishes and it does not take out the trash and it does not fold clothes. It doesn't clean the apartment. It doesn't do anything and it just yells at you the whole time. So,
Well, there's something beautiful about it.
but there's something beautiful about it.
And I'm sure you could figure out your glazes that work on a better clay body
You
too.
can figure it out. It's just
It's not
annoying.
that, yeah.
It's not for the weak of heart, and it is also not for the noobs, the newbies.
Yeah. I mean, if you know somebody that's traveling from something and you want to get some, like, oh,
Yeah. Also, that's another thing, you know,
you
some
could
people can be
also
bought.
persuade, you could probably well, I don't know. It'd probably be a lot to persuade one of the distributors to be like, "Hey, can you start carrying Kentucky Mud Works? Or what do I got to
Yeah,
do?"
that is a persuasion as well.
You
Yeah.
could like band together with some other folks in like your clay guild or something like that that really want Kentucky Mud Works. As long as they
Yeah.
can get a pallet, it can maybe work out. I don't know. Maybe there's also
Yeah.
some conflicts of who you sell with, so they're like maybe some places don't take in an additional distributor like
Yeah.
that.
Who knows?
I'm
Who
guessing it
knows?
probably doesn't go that far west. I don't, do
Mm-mm.
you know any place in like Denver or Kansas City or anything that has Kentucky Mud Works?
I don't.
Or yeah, I think Isaac
Uh,
was talking about that, trying to get
Isaac was trying to
to
get his
Kansas.
distributor to get Kentucky Moworks, and I don't know if he succeeded or not, but that was as far west, I think, as I've seen it. They don't even have it down south. I mean, like,
Yeah, I mean, I
yeah,
guess if you don't need to and you got can't keep up with supply enough with schools and studios within a few hours. Yeah.
yeah. It's just crazy what happens when, like, not only a woman makes clay, but a woman who's a thrower makes clay. And like who is that technologically advanced. Like Link is so freaking smart. And it's just like if Link was everywhere and if Kentucky's Mudworks sold everywhere, can you imagine?
I mean,
Like,
I don't know how they hold up for hand building, so maybe the hand builders out there are like this clay sucks for that.
I
Or
mean, yeah,
when you
they've
get it in
they've
production, some of this is not great to work
yeah,
with.
they fixed it a little bit for hand building, but still, even honestly, even if it just was, even if they were like, it's garbage for hand building and it's only throwing, it would revolutionize it if it was everywhere. Because in my opinion, Kentucky Mudworks is the best clay out there.
Mm,
I said it.
you said it.
I said it. That's not even sponsored.
I feel like we need to go for the for sponsorship. You're toot
I know.
toot their
I'm
horn.
in too deep. Link, I expect a lot of garlic next year. Um, for that one uh opinion. Okay. It is the eve of Thanksgiving.
The eve of the eve.
The eve of the eve.
The day before Thanksgiving.
The day before. And we're doing this not the day before because Ryan will be, because typically we'd be doing this on a Wednesday, but Ryan will be driving to uh
Louisville. Yeah.
Louisville. Oh my God, I did not ask Deidre if she wants my recipe for stuffing or anything. Do you think she wants it?
Probably not stuffing because I
You
don't know
guys
who's
all
gonna.
loved my stuffing.
I don't eat stuffing.
Rachel loved it.
I don't remember that, but she generally doesn't eat stuffing either.
I know, I converted all of you guys, not you. Mostly all of you guys.
I mean, I don't. Did my mom eat it?
Yeah.
I feel like my dad will eat anything, but
Yeah, your
usually
dad
he's
will
one
eat
of those
anything.
that would say, "Well, I'm not gonna make the stuffing if I'm the only one that's gonna eat it."
That is true. Your dad is unselfish that in that way. In that way. Anyway,
You can send it to her. I mean, you still got time.
I'll see. Uh, I've made the Durban's Thanksgiving for the last 2 years, and this is the
Hmm.
first year that I won't be there for the Durban Thanksgiving. So, um,
We'll
yep,
miss you.
I will miss you
Are
too.
you making food for it?
Yeah, me and Cheryl are gonna make food. We're gonna I told her about the stuffing that I do, and actually she does very similar stuffing to what my mom does. So we're just adding in the Rice Krispies. Um that
Rice
sounds
Krispies
really
into
weird.
stuffing?
Yes, you said this the last time too. My mom, like, she does the Pampered Farm or Pepperidge Farm cube stuffing, herb cube stuffing, and then you like add in the onions and the butter and the chicken broth, and then you also add in Rice Krispies. I want to say it's half the amount of Rice Krispies as there is stuffing, or double the amount of Rice Krispies as there is stuffing. Regardless, oh my God, it makes it fluffier.
That makes sense. And then
Fluffy, not mushy.
you make extra Rice Krispie treats with the remaining.
Yeah, yeah.
Yum.
Yeah, anyway, so yeah, I'm kind of sad, but also I'm excited to cook with Cheryl. And she said she makes like these rolls from scratch and they're like to die for, which I'm really excited about. And
Mm, love a good roll.
fucking love rolls. And she's making a strawberry rhubarb pie, which is my favorite pie.
She seems like she'd cook a hell of a Thanksgiving dinner.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, and her husband's good at cooking too. Like, yeah, good
And then you
shit.
got the fancy ice. I mean, I feel like y'all are just
Dude,
prime for
their
this
kitchen
kitchen.
their kitchen is almost as big as my mom and dad's.
Wow.
It might
Do
be
they have
bigger.
a ballroom dance floor in the middle of it, or
No, no, but they do have an island in the middle. And this won't matter to you, but every single appliance they own is Viking.
I think I've heard
So,
of the Viking stove before.
yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice shit. But I'm really excited to cook, and it's all gas, which is also exciting too. Um, anyway, we thought it would be cool. I thought it would be cool to talk about what we're thankful for in the ceramics community because we are
In the ceramics
super
community.
cliche like that. Yeah.
Are you typing up your list?
No, I'm looking to see how much a Viking
Checking it,
stove costs.
checking it twice.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
that's not that
the
expensive.
family friends of ours that had a Viking, I think they had a cooktop surface, kind of like you do like stir fry on.
Mm-hmm.
They had that, and then they had the
The
gas
flat
on the
top.
sides. Yeah. No,
Yep.
it was good. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of those, the most expensive Viking professional stove is $12,499. But they don't have that. That's not. But yeah, actually they say that they don't like it. They don't like any of the Viking stuff. It doesn't work well.
There we
So
go. Review.
now you know.
Trash. Viking
Trash.
trash.
Trash. I don't know. No, but I still am like, this is so exciting. Um, like it's so fun. It's so cool. It's like a dream kitchen. I can't even describe to you. And they've definitely earned it. So, uh, okay. Uh,
What are
what
we thankful for in the ceramics community?
do you want to start? You want me to start?
Sure, I'll start.
Did you write some things down?
I did. I wrote four things down.
God damn it. Okay.
What did you write down?
How long have you known me?
I just wanted people to hear that. I just want to give you the opportunity. I don't want to assume. You're the one that brought up the idea, so for anything I know, you came up with a list. You're like, you know what? This will be a great topic idea. I'll suggest it. I'll come with a list.
I am no
You'll be
substance.
shocked.
I'm all idea, no substance. That's how I work.
Hey, we made it. We made it to the episode and we're talking about it. So
Yeah, there we
can't say
go.
that about all the other ideas. We
That's
made it.
true.
All right. The first one I wrote on here were peers who are open to chat or share in our successes or failures. And I think I just meant, obviously, we talked to a lot of folks on the podcast. We're friends online. We've met in
Hmm.
person. Like, there's folks that are in our group of friends in different circles and stuff that have been helpful over the years. And it's nice to pat each other on the back or leave a good comment or message them when something's like, oh shit, sorry that happened, or oh, that looks
Yeah,
amazing. Like, I don't know about most of you out there, but like when you get a good compliment from another fellow Potter, especially one that you look up to or aspire to a little bit, it's a nice
yeah,
little boost to hear from your peers and not somebody that's like your mom saying like, "Ooh, I love that," or your best friend or whatever. It's kind of nice to get something from like there's no reason for them to say that, but they like attempt it and do it.
yeah. I think on the same vein of that, I feel like the willingness that the ceramic community has to share, like how willing they are to share, just generally,
Hmm.
is something I'm super thankful for because I know people that I've met have been like one person in particular I met, and she's like, I don't want to be involved in this certain community because it's catty. And she's like, honestly, like most communities have really stabbed me in the back. And I was like, well, the ceramics community will not. It's not going to, like, I guess it could, obviously, but if you get in the
That's
right,
more at an individual level, I feel like though.
yeah,
That's not a group at large.
yeah, I would say it's not catty in any way. And like, they're just good people trying to help each other out the best we can within reason, obviously. But like,
Yeah, it feels like
yeah,
the
and
the task that we're trying to do is hard enough as it is. So like more
right.
people giving you shit and realizing like none of us are experts at this. Or we're not like you don't know everything and you haven't tried everything. Like there's so many
Yeah.
variables that can go wrong and happen that it's like why take other people down?
Right. And also on another note, I'm really grateful that like this sounds stupid, but also at the same time, I think that if I explain it, it'll make sense. I'm grateful that ceramics is not um a super high earning job because that makes the people that make it a little bit more down to earth. Yeah, there's some people that make a shit ton of money doing it, but typically we're all just like trying to pay our bills, and that makes it really and like
The
in no
problems of
ceramic,
this group is way more like the average everyday person
right.
or whatever
And
than people that
yeah,
have crazy things they're concerned about that like aren't even in the same stratosphere.
right. And like you can't walk into somebody's studio and not find a handmade tool, something that they just whipped together because they didn't have it. We're all very resourceful, and I kind of love that. And it kind of like shows you like the roots of like the ceramics
Hmm.
community.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some as well that you maybe see the studio and you're like, ooh, they kind of have it easy because they got like brand new wheel, brand new
Yeah.
kiln, brand new clay boxes that are so prettily tucked in the corner and it just looks so
Yeah, it's like
pristine
so
and everything.
organized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I also feel like though when you talk to those people about stuff like that, like if you judge them based on what they own, you then find that, The first wheel they ever bought was this garbage fucking wheel that they figured out what to do on, and then, they didn't have a kiln and they pit fired, or they, like did crazy things, like they worked up to what they had. For the
Hmm.
most part, most people work up to what they have, and I think that is really cool. It makes you humble.
And then it's also, hey, you do another job and you got all this new equipment because you're like starting on something that you're really interested in. And honestly, eliminating a lot of those stressors and the distractions and oh, I got a manual kiln, so I got to go like that's just what I have to do. I have to babysit the kiln and
Yeah,
I have to do this because that's what I have. It's more like, hey, I'm looking to escape and do something with my hands to get
yeah,
away from, if you're a nurse all day or something and you're
right.
trying to do something for yourself, it's like, oh, that like they have a space too. It's not everybody has to do the same thing,
Yeah,
or we're all fighting to do the same thing and beat one another and all that.
yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I would guess a lot of people that have hobbies are probably not as ingrained in other groups with their hobbies as much as like, or maybe it's just because there's a lot of questions in ceramics that if you're,
Yeah, I mean, like it's hard to do, so I would imagine that that is something that, definitely plays a part. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think about that. Like, if you're a hobby painter, like like how many questions are there about painting?
do you
That
seek out others to say, hey, can you show me some road? Like, can we paint together and I can
right?
like see what you're doing? Or it,
Yeah, I don't know.
like, is it more competitive than that? Or is it, I'm sure there's people that
Yeah.
sew together and do like fabric projects, but
Well, I would say that the fiber community is a very related community to the pottery community in the sense that I think that they share that kind of like community aspect, and like having to ask questions and do
share
certain
projects and
things,
share
share
patterns
projects. Yeah.
and
Yeah. So I assume, I'm not positive, but I would assume, you know. Yeah.
yeah.
What was
All right, that
another
was
question?
another one I had on here. I just had it generic, just said Wheel Talk listeners, because
Oh
we
yeah.
get constant back and forth with folks. There's friendships that have developed with people from getting to know us through the podcast, obviously giving us opportunities to talk at conferences and have some rapport with the listeners in some capacity that it could be way different. It could be, hey, we just go with the flow and just don't really want that back and forth. And definitely has guided a lot of conversation and things that the public is interested in talking about or hearing us talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll talk listeners. I feel like, well, I mean, you and I both wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the people that listen to our podcast. And
Hmm.
I mean, I think that we have so much to be thankful for with this podcast, not only for like, I know my mental health has been saved. Ryan gets to talk about shit. I mean,
Hmm.
that's been saved. Um, he doesn't drive Rachel absolutely fucking
I probably
nuts.
wouldn't. I would probably just keep it all internal, but at least hopefully it's helpful to enough people that it's like if we're in a regular conversation, I'm not gonna just throw my opinions around of everything. I'm
Yeah, you're pretty
pretty
reserved.
quiet generally, but if somebody asks me something, then I'll give you like an honest, effort at it.
Yeah.
So like I would say, oh, I would be talking somebody else's ear off about this stuff for 2 hours a week at least if I wasn't doing the podcast.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I'd
Yeah.
probably be going back and forth and asking questions with different individuals through audio notes on Instagram or something.
Yeah, I
But
mean, definitely our lives have changed because of this place. Definitely.
what other one were you thinking of?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I got a little bit sidetracked because I found this tool that I've never seen in my life before and on Cheryl's table. And I'm thankful for this right now.
What is it?
And
Is it a
it's
ceramic
okay.
tool?
No, I'm pretty sure it's a cake decorating tool from the what I looked up the brand, and it's got two compartments. So you put a powder in here, which I assume is cornstarch. And this doesn't really resonate with you because you're not a um uh, you're not a hand builder, but then the second compartment has a bag and it's a duster,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which is super helpful for hand building because you need to put cornstarch on things.
Yeah.
And it's self-contained.
I like
So
that it's contained like that. Yeah.
yeah, it's self-contained. So it's called Wilton. If anybody's ever, I don't know what it would be used for, probably powdered sugar. Um,
Yeah.
but
I would suspect.
anyway,
Yeah, I've only ever used cornstarch in a piece of t-shirt that's ripped and just balled up with a rubber band.
right, exactly. And that's kind of it's an awful situation that I hate. But yeah, I would say hmm, I'm for me, I'm thankful for being able to visit so many different studios and be able to kind of see how everybody else does everything else, you know?
That is nice.
And I don't I know that I'm special in that regard. That like not a ton of people will have that uh I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if you had your own studio though, and somebody was passing through and they're a friend, like you would love to have them come visit, I suspect, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm just like grateful that I get to see all these different places and all these different like machines and all these different how people do things, you know? And it's yeah, I mean,
I mean, I feel like some people get a little bit um bummed about their studio. They're like, "No, you don't want to come see my studio." But when you're in the business and you're like, "No, I want to see your studio. I want to see how you like
yeah.
I see the production of what you're making." But, for instance, some people don't show their studio because they don't feel like it's photogenic or whatever. And you're like, no, I want to actually see what it looks like. I know what your work looks like, but how do you actually work? I think that's more interesting to see the how you laid out. Yeah, I love to show
Yeah.
people the studio. Even if it's a customer that's coming to shop or whatever, if they don't need to be in and out, I mean, I'll bring the workout on the table in the studio and they can see where it's at. I mean, people like coming in for the holiday studio sale too. I was like, you can come in here and like you should see this because it's not like it's a big trek or something to go see it.
Yeah. It's yeah, I don't know, it's just great. I feel just really lucky because not very many people have this opportunity and um
It also
yeah.
it seems like you made relationships with certain ceramic studios as well.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I mean, you've been doing the workshops, but also some of the studios in Indianapolis that you've seen, or um, traveling around and just figuring out where you need to get your supplies from
Yeah.
as you're on the road. So that's pretty good to get those connections. I mean, obviously now you're kind of starting the connection with the workshop, but it could be down the road and they reach out to you to do other workshops when you're traveling, or hey, I wasn't planning on it, but while I'm going, we've done this before. Do you want to do it
Exactly.
again?
Something just fell. Oh well. Yeah, it's just crazy. I don't know. I could have never asked for anything better. And to be able to meet so many different people and to see so many different places, um, that's yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's stressful sometimes, but it's great overall.
Yeah, I mean, if you were on the road like you have been and didn't know as many people, how would you? Like
I
you wouldn't be
wouldn't
able to
I wouldn't
sustain your making, I don't think.
I wouldn't be on the road. And I haven't really sustained my making that well, but I definitely wouldn't be on the road because you can't do this the way that I do it. You can't do it without knowing people. Yeah.
Are you talking about mentally the way you're doing it, or you're talking about the kiln space you need and the stability with a studio,
Yeah, just like going to
access to
different studios and
glazes and
stuff and like yeah, I could travel around and just live out in the forest somewhere, but I couldn't get a lot done then. So, yeah.
some people would probably think that distractions would keep you from getting work done because you're at people's studios,
Oh, I don't do any work. I do no work. Literally none. I do work when I'm at your house.
but you said you wouldn't do anything if you were in the forest. Do you just mean you would produce less than the work that you produce there?
I don't know,
I
maybe.
thought that's what you meant.
Mm, I feel like I wouldn't produce anything regardless, let's be honest. Um, no, I do feel like having the kilns is nice and like if I have deadlines that I have to meet, that's what's really nice about having like people with kilns or power or whatever. But like right now I'm not producing anything because I don't really need to, you know? And I'm kind of in a weird position in my life. And but like I do think that like in the last 2 years I've gone to different people's places and produced a lot. Yes, that's true. Like being at the Beals was great and I made a shit ton of stuff, you know?
Hmm.
So so yeah.
All right, my next thing on the list was thankful for having consistent help with the,
Mm.
and that's mainly I pointed that to Erica, Rachel, and yourself. And obviously there's a lot of balls in the air constantly, and it's
Yes.
nice to not bear the weight of all of them.
I'm a very inconsistent ball in that juggle. But but Rachel and Erica I think have been a really good blessing for you, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think
Not
Erica's coming up on her starting her third year, or maybe.
Yeah, and like, yeah, and Erica is like, yeah, you've had other people in the past, but Erica is special.
Yeah.
She's really special, and I think we all know it. Everybody knows it, even if they haven't even met her. Like, they know it.
You
So,
come to Nsika and you can meet her. She'll be
yeah,
demoing with me. I
I
mean, a lot
told
of these
some,
things I'm like, all these questions I'm demoing at SBO, it wouldn't make sense for me to demo the painting of the underglaze and the carving.
yeah,
Like, I don't do that. So I'm like,
yeah,
Erica can be here and answer all your underglaze questions because she uses it 90% of the time and I use it
right,
or 95% of the time and I use it 5%. Like, I almost never use it. So,
yeah. Also, this is a side note, but we'll get back. I wanted to say something about Erica after this. We need to tell Joe that we want to be volunteers this year if we want to be volunteers. Okay.
I already did it.
Um, did you tell him for me too?
No,
Okay, I'll tell him.
I feel like that's
Um,
expected from you though.
you would think. Anyway, okay, so Erica is, if you've never met Erica, I told somebody recently that she's the type of person that doesn't have a resting bitch face. She has a resting bitch smile. And
Have you
like
told her that?
no, I just kind of came up with the actual phrase of it because like when she's like not thinking about anything, she has this like goofy smile on her face and it fucking kills my heart with kindness. It is so cute. It's
That's
like
great.
a smile with nothing behind it. Nothing. And it's so great and I love it.
You just like let her be in that moment because you know what's going on.
Yeah. And I love that whenever I come to your house, she's there and we just like get into it and we just nothing it's like she's the friend that nothing changes with, but also the studio assistant that nothing changes with. She's like just there and all is good. You know, you
Hmm.
don't even have to be there. You're not there a lot of the times that we're there together. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's great. I'm also thankful for Erica and
Yeah.
Rachel.
I mean, I feel like I'm like, how much can I like my process doesn't change that much. There's not a ton more that I can like teach you and have you learn in the studio,
Yeah.
especially doing it for more than a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, luckily she's not in so many hours a week that it's, soul crushing to do the same thing. I try to mix it up. So I'm like, I don't want anybody to be prepping clay for 4 hours. That's not realistic. So
Or
like,
nice.
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that myself. I like a schedule where I can be flexible and I can, maybe I'll wax some stuff, maybe I'll underglaze some things, maybe I'll glaze some pots, maybe I'll prep some clay, you know.
Well, and I think that it's like at this point, I mean, yeah, she's just coming to your house to hang out and she gets paid for it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and she
So,
gets to, you know, I mean, I feel like that kind of work would be great for like most people would love to have a job that's that flexible. You can, if you
yeah.
need to change something up and you need to cancel that day and do it a different day, that's fine. If you need to cancel that one day of the week and we'll just miss
Yeah,
one
and
of the
she has
day, like,
another job. It's not like this is her money, you know? Like she's not like
yeah.
clamming for money. She's got a regular job. So, and this is like her hobby. And that helping you out increases and helps with that hobby, you know?
Hmm. And there's a lot
Yeah.
of there's a lot of jobs that, I mean, you're working with different personalities and you're just like, I have to be here because this person's like gonna be here. So I have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I have to figure out how to work with those people. When you work with one or two people and they're like there's not like a you didn't do this or you need to do that or oh so and
Yeah.
so's being an asshole this week. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you're not in it so much and so often that it's well, I mean, I guess if I was a dick, it would suck to work for me. But
It would suck and she would not be there still. The
yeah.
free drinks is not enough to keep her there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So finding good help is seems it seems like it's difficult. I don't know how you go about telling people how to find good people. I think you just have to, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you still like companies do interviews and go through the process and talk to multiple people on a regular basis. So it's like you shouldn't
Yeah.
feel like, ooh, this one person I talked to seems great. How could it be any better?
Yeah.
But like everybody's got their pros and cons and their, what they're good at and what they're like, are they very agreeable? Are they going to say like, hey, I'm willing to do anything in the studio, but they don't seem as like personable to be around? Or are they like great personality and like no experience, but they can learn?
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I had something.
What's that?
I'm thankful for the versatility in the ceramics community, like how everybody finds their own way and their own path, and like how many different things there are, because it just like adds to how many different things we can learn about and or just appreciate. It would be really boring if everything was the same, you know?
If everybody had to
Um,
go through the same 10 steps to start
yeah.
selling, or it's not,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's no one
Yeah.
size fits all.
Yeah, and I love the idea the fact that we all do something a little bit different, you know? That's great.
Yeah, and you have the option if you want to focus on your work itself and be more in the background with your face, you can do that.
Yep.
If you want to show your personality more and like talking about your work and talking about being a business owner is more your speed.
Yeah. And if you want to paint on your pots and focus on the paintings as opposed to the pots, or you can focus on the pots as opposed to the paintings, like I think there's just something for everybody, you know? It's like, yeah, there's a lot of things that like if ceramics was a one-shot situation where you had to like have really fine artsy stuff, you would never be able to do that. Like, you know, and
Hmm.
I say this because we all know this. Like, I'm not being, it's not like a thing, but like you enjoy the part of making, and the glazing isn't necessarily a part that is something that like intrigues you as much, right? So it like the fact that you can have a successful career in pottery and like keep in the lane that you're in is fantastic. Like nobody's really pushing you to be one way or the other, you know? So I'm
And
thankful of that.
there's enough customers out there and hopefully options out there for you to pursue with shows or ways of selling if you don't want to sell in person at
Right.
all. If you want to partner with companies and let them sell it. I was also thinking even in the studio that you're in, even if there's a different teacher you can take, like that experience of that class is going to be drastically different because
Hmm.
I mean the teachers are all a little different. They're not working on like there's no big ceramics that's like like telling all the businesses and all the studios how to teach a certain thing and everybody's got to follow the same curriculum. Like it's totally different. One teacher to the next, one studio to the next. Like,
Yeah.
you got some old school folks that are going to teach a certain way. You got some people that are still new to teaching or
Yep.
they teach based on what they've been doing and they teach it
Yeah.
how they do it. And
I have another one. I have another one. If you want to go, and then I have to remember the one that I remembered.
why don't you say it so you don't
I'm
forget?
really thankful for all the tools that have been coming out recently that increases accessibility to because I was thinking about when you said that I was thinking about like I recently came across somebody who was like very old school. And I was like, well, I'm not going to let them use that because they need to learn the basics, blah blah blah. And I really like the thing that I've really loved with Speedball recently is that this is not sponsored. Is that
It's going to sound
uh
sponsored because my next one is going to be about partners.
it's not, but like something that I really enjoyed, especially talking to Dell, who works at Speedball, is how focused they are on accessibility for people. And it's not about being that sourpuss old person that's like, you can't use that. That's a cheating tool. It's more about like, okay, but why are you here? Are you here to have fun? Or are you here to like learn every single step, you know? And
It sounds like somebody like a played as it lies golfer. It's like, come on, dude. This game's already hard enough. Let me just sit the ball not behind this tree. Like,
right,
come on. We're
seriously,
not
like
fucking pros
seriously.
here.
Yeah, like this is so hard, and the fact that we have certain tools like the boss base, the strong arm, the like certain ribs and shit like that that help you figure out
Like a
the
foot
like
tool.
the Giffen grip, a foot tool, like the fact that we have those tools and that people are coming around finally to accepting them is like so cool. And I think that it lends to a lot of people being able to do it that they wouldn't be able to do it normally, you know, like people with
Hmm.
arthritis and people with like no strength in certain parts of their bodies that they've like always wanted to do pottery but they can't do it on the wheel because they've never been able to center, you know. And yeah, so I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, I mean, you should support anything that's helping your profession like grow. Shouldn't you
God,
be
it's
happy
so
that your
fucking
profession's
dumb.
growing unless you're like, oh, there's more people in the profession, so like my supplies are gonna get harder to get, or my clay is gonna increase in price because more people are interested in it. Like the mines are gonna
No,
dry up quicker because more people are doing it. Like what? What?
no, just let them do it. And also it's like these people that are, and I'm looking at you, all of you people that are saying like I don't want this boss base or whatever the fuck. I shit you not. Do you use a pen? Because it's the same goddamn thing. Do you use a fucking wheel? Do you use a slab roller? Like, if you are a slab builder and you use a slab roller to roll out your slabs, that is quite literally the same thing as a boss base. Like,
Sorry, when you said pen first, I thought ink pen. I'm like, wait, this is too technologically
technologically,
advanced.
No, but I did mean ink pen because we all write with pens, and if we didn't have pens, what would we like?
Okay, I thought and then I was thinking back and I was like, no, she didn't mean pen, she meant rolling pin because you get a slab.
No,
And I'm
nope,
like,
nope.
wait, no, okay.
Nope, I did mean pen. I just kind of was like getting on my soapbox. But also like all the things that would you have a drill to like drill up your fucking glazes? Like all of these things that you have accepted as like a tool
A
and
luxury or
then
yeah.
you're like, no, we can't have that because new students won't learn. Like fuck all the way off. Just like you're gonna they're gonna learn eventually and guess what? Sometimes they don't want to learn. Sometimes they just want to have some fun and get away from their husband and get away from their children, get away from their wife and have some fun on a Friday night. And they just want to have some pots at the end of it. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to go out and buy 10 ball spaces for your whole studio.
no, no. But like have it there for like anybody literally over the age of 60 that has arthritis. Like,
Yeah,
there's
it is kind of tough watching somebody that's older try to like work with that clay and the strength and the hands are
yeah,
usually not as like
agile. They're
strong.
not as agile. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. Like anybody over the age of 60 has had a whole lot of life and they've deserved a tool to let them make it easier. Like,
Hmm.
like, yeah. So anyway, that's my soapbox and I'm thankful for those type of tools. Okay, what's your next one?
Yeah, my next one was just yeah, having good partners to work with like actually getting to know the people behind it, being willing to like it doesn't feel I don't know if this is other industries. It just seems like there would be more like contractual obligations and like that's kind of
Uh,
it feels a little more transactional. But I mean, even the companies that I've worked with outside of the ceramics community, like a Speedball or Rolo or something like that, like no, they're just like humans too.
yeah.
But
You forget
it
that sometimes.
they all are kind of like small bit they're still small businesses, like quote unquote. Like
Yeah.
I get it, we're like single business owners usually, but they're still small,
Uh-huh. When
you
I
know.
worked with Starbucks, that was the first time I was like, "Oh, you guys don't know what the fuck you're doing either." Like, they're still human beings that have to work together as a team to
Hmm.
get something done. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
you know, Speedball, L&L, Kiln Shelf, obviously. I mean, Mud Tools were got some of that little relationship. We got, you know, I'll talk with Diamond Core Tools every now and then, and
Yep, you're with Diamond Core. Kentucky Mud Works, like we've talked to Link all the time, and yeah, yeah, feel super lucky about the relationships that we have. A lot of my relationships are because of you, because I don't have that kind of bandwidth. But so I am thankful for you, Ryan. Ryan
I'm
Durbin.
thankful for you as well.
Ryan J. Durbin.
Which stands for what?
I don't remember.
I thought you were gonna say some other name that is like people make up middle names.
Ryan Jeremy Durbin.
Do I look like a Jeremy?
Yes, 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 yes. What is it again? What's your middle name?
It's,
Paul?
it's
Peter?
Jay. It's Jay.
It is Jay. Okay. Wait, it's John. Jerry. John?
No, it's a biblical name.
It's not Jeremy?
Remember Jeremy from the Bible?
Joseph.
Joseph. Yeah, it's Joseph.
That's right.
That's my grandfather's middle name.
Right, right, right. My brother has the coolest middle name. I used to think it was so dorky, but his middle name is Earl.
Earl.
Earl. I fucking love that
Earl.
name. It's a
That
good
sounds like a
name.
good cat name.
That might be my next cat. I'm not gonna lie. Did you know that Dorothy, Dottie's legal name, is
I mean, that makes
it,
sense. Singer, you know?
it really does. I feel really proud about the name situation. Yeah, I wanted to name her Dorothy, but I'm not calling a cat Dorothy. Uh, she my both of my grandparents' names were Dorothy. Grandma's names were Dorothy. So
Yeah.
I did not consider that before naming this cat Dorothy.
When you're talking about there was a video recently where it was a cat and her name was Maxine, and I thought it sounded like you said magazine, and I was like, who would name a cat Magazine?
Who wouldn't?
And it was Maxine, and I was just thinking, yeah, I don't know.
I met a dog recently named Taco. No,
Was it a Chihuahua?
it was a pit bull.
Oh,
So funny.
Kelty and Tinder's dog is a Chihuahua. His name's Pablo.
Pablo.
He's very loving.
Um,
Was there anything else on your list that you're thinking of
no,
in your head list?
in my head list. Uh, I was, um, let's see. No, I don't know. I mean, it's just wheel talk, obviously. I'm thankful for Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse. They got some good rolls.
They got some good rolls. I'm kidding. Um, I
Freaking
was,
cinnamon butter.
oh, yeah. No, I mean, like, I'm just thankful for everything, but I think that sometimes in this shitty world that we live in, it's easy to look at the rough parts of life, and it's sometimes fun to talk about the good parts. So,
Yeah,
almost all the time, actually. It's all the time fun.
agreed.
Agreed. Agreed. A pear-shaped hole.
Oh my God,
I
did you see that Katie Barks had a huge sinkhole in her backyard?
shut
She
the
had a
fuck up.
there's like a 14-foot hole. She had to fill
Shut
it.
the fuck up. Really?
Yeah.
In Oregon?
Yeah. I don't it was an old
Wow.
like cistern or no. Yeah, it was an old like drainage ditch or something.
That's wild. I went and saw Wicked.
Good.
Yeah, it was
Bad.
really good. It was really good. Maybe that's why I'm all singy.
Hmm.
Not that I'm not
I
singy every
I'm kind of
episode, but
curious how the if there's any good Moana 2 songs coming up. Actually,
oh
like,
yeah, because that came out today.
oh, did it?
Yeah,
I knew it was coming out soon.
yeah. Me and Cheryl went to the movie theater to see Wicked, and I was like, "Do you eat popcorn?" And she's like, "Meh." And I could go with or without popcorn at a movie. It doesn't matter to
Mm.
me. And as long as I have like some water, I don't care. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But anyway, then we're walking out of the movie theater and she's like, I was like, Cheryl, look, the movie theater had popcorn dispensers. So you get like your bucket or your bag or whatever, and you like bring it up to the dispenser and it's free refills, and you like press the button and it like pops out like an ice machine into your
Oh,
bucket.
really?
Yeah.
I wonder how fresh
And
that is, though. They're probably well. I guess they probably just
well, there's
run over
somebody
and dump
back
it.
there, like, yeah, there's somebody back there, like, manning it and, like, getting more and, like, making more and stuff. And then you can put as much butter as you want on it and all that shit. And, and she's like, I want to get one of those buckets of popcorn. And I was like, after the movie?
You should
So,
just ask somebody if they could dump out their. Can I have your bucket?
well, see, here's the thing is that the buckets, it's like and they do this in Utah too. It's like a whole year thing. You get this giant bucket, and then every time you bring it into the theater, it's only $4 to refill it.
Yeah.
And so, and then like the next year, you get like a different tag that has like the year on it, and so on and so forth. And so, but her and her husband don't go to movies, and I was like, you better start going to movies now.
Oh, she actually bought one of the buckets.
Yeah, we bought a bucket and ate it on the way home.
So good, right? But wait, do
It
you
was.
butter it on the way out? Because generally, well, we're kind of eating it leftover, so we don't really butter that.
Yes. Well, we buttered it because we literally ate it on the way home.
You ate all of it. Yeah.
So, and we watched two movies last night. We watched John Wick and Deadpool. So, it was a three-movie day for me.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot. Fucking lot. Yeah. Trying to get
Hmm.
him to watch Deadpool 2 so that then we can then rent Deadpool versus Wolverine.
It's on Disney Plus.
You don't have to rent it?
I just saw it
Fantastic.
on there 2 days ago.
Fantastic.
They've got the other Deadpools on there too.
Nice. Yeah. Also, part of me in my life, I want to be like John Wick when somebody, have you seen John Wick, right?
Hmm. It's been a while,
Okay.
but
I assume you haven't seen the fourth
Carlos
one.
Carlos fucking loves John Wick.
I fucking love John Wick. Who doesn't love John Wick?
I've only watched the
Anyway,
first two.
well, we can change that. Anyway, um, part of me wants to be the type of person that when somebody says my name, all the answer is oh, because they're like John Wick, and then the other person's like, oh, like,
They're
like you
nervous to
don't,
hear the name.
yeah,
Like,
because like they don't need to say anything else. So I want somebody to be like Becca Otis, and then somebody to be like, oh. That's the type of fame I want. Oh.
so people need to drop that. If you're hearing that and you hear the name Becca Otis when you're in Nsika or Claycon
It'll
West,
be like, oh.
oh,
Oh, okay.
yeah, Otis.
Oh, Tis. Cool, cool, cool. So, got any last words?
No, thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to another episode of Wheel Talk. This podcast is made possible through the contributions of all of our listeners who always ask us great questions, leave us reviews, and contact with us through social media. Thanks to all the fellow makers as well who take time to be interviewed and share about their lives and businesses.
And thank you to Ashley from Boldover Ceramics and Lindy from Lindy Garner Ceramics for their assistance on the Whale Talk Podcast Instagram. You are invaluable. Thank you to everybody.